Welcome back to Be Zen with Brit. I'm your host, Brit Madrid Mogensen, and tonight we are following the Texas Humane Legislation Network to the Capitol in Austin while they lobby for animal rights. If you've been watching the show, I have been doing stories with Dallas Animal Services for over a year. I have adopted 3 dogs off of their euthanasia list who were listed for overcrowding. I have attended Dallas Animal Commission meetings. I have advocated for animals on Reddit, on different apps, on the Facebook group for Dallas Animal Services. I have really immersed myself in the animal rescue culture, and I have met so many amazing people who work tirelessly to help these helpless animals. So Texas is actually number 1 in the United States for the number of animals euthanized in shelters due to overcrowding and space issues. And it's a heartbreaking statistic. I've also witnessed animals who are wonderful and adoptable get euthanized. And it truly has impacted me on such a deep level and has inspired me to continue to look for resources to create lasting change. And that's where I encountered the Texas Humane Legislation Network. They are a group of grassroots lobbyists who have passed over 100 laws in the state of Texas that range from animal cruelty issues to the puppy mill pipeline and banning the retail sale of pets in pet stores. We're going to get into all of that and their priorities at the current legislative session. I was so inspired to understand how we can make real lasting change for these animals because where we're at right now, currently, with dogs being dumped and the shelters being overwhelmed, rescues being overwhelmed, there simply aren't enough people and resources to support the overwhelming number of animals who need our help and care. And what the Texas Humane Legislation Network is doing is passing laws that address these issues. I can only help maybe my 4 animals that have in my home and however many animals are at the shelter in a day when I go to volunteer. By supporting the Texas Humane Legislation Network, we're able to help them get laws passed that support thousands of animals in perpetuity. If you are someone who loves animals, if you are a person who owns a rescue, if you are someone who volunteers at your local shelter or rescue group, this is an episode I really want you to watch. You would be surprised how few people get involved on this side of things. It can seem overwhelming or futile, and we just kind of see the problem and we want to go straight to that problem. But if you've worked in rescue for any amount of time, you do get to a point where you realize that we have to do something about this. We have to do something to address these issues at the root. And that's what the Texas Humane Legislation Network is successfully doing. So come with me on this journey. Let's get inspired. Let's get empowered. It was very exciting to learn as individuals, we can effectuate change. And let's meet some of the amazing people in our community who are doing just that. Becca Chavez is the Chief Operations Officer of Yaqui Animal Rescue in McAllen, Texas, one of the regions facing some of the toughest animal welfare challenges in the state. Her dedication is making a real impact in an area where resources are limited, but the need is great. It was so inspiring to get to meet you at Texas Humane Legislation Day and hear about the amazing work that you're doing, which is why I wanted to bring you here to the show to share some of what you guys do with our viewers, because I was just so impressed by your advocacy and your hard work. So please tell everybody about what you do.
Hi, so my name is, of course, Rebecca Chavez, and I am the Chief Operations Officer for Yaqui Animal Rescue, which is located in Sullivan City in the Rio Grande Valley. The Rio Grande Valley is a 4-county region. It's Hidalgo County, Cameron County, Starr County, and Willacy County. And we are just one of the most heavily or highest stray overpopulation of animals in the nation, one of the highest. Wow. And our rescue in particular, we do have a ranch which is located in Sullivan City. It's an 80-acre ranch owned by our founder Sonia Venecia, and about 10 to 15 acres of that is used for the rescue. And in that rescue, we have about 80 dogs, 100 cats, 5 horses, 9 pigs, about We have 15 cows. We have guinea hens. Then we have neighborhood cats that make their way into the ranch. So we get them sterilized, but overall it's just basically a sanctuary. And our dogs and our cats, of course, are up for adoption. And then we have maybe about 20 to 30 other dogs and cats in foster homes because we don't have room at the ranch anymore. And so that pretty much makes up the rescue part of it, the actual location, and then having fosters and adopters. And then the other part of that is we offer the community assistance with spay and neuter services or programs. We help with wellness, such as vaccinations or getting animals microchipped, getting preventatives, anything that the community may need. We try to assist in any way that we can, because our goal or our mission, of course, is to save as many animals as possible, but we also want to be able to keep families and pets together. We don't want the issue of money or lack of resources to be the reason why people don't keep their pets, because there aren't enough homes already, right? So
Right.
whatever we can do to keep households together, we try to do that, and we try to encourage that. So that's just a little blip, right, of what our rescue is and what we do.
Well, it's absolutely wonderful. And at THLN's Humane Legislation Day, there was a group of students that was actually talking about their work with you guys. Will you share a little bit of that as well? Because I was just floored by the innovative, just the approach that you guys are taking and really bringing the young people in. So please share that. It's so amazing.
Sure. Yeah. So we're April. So last year, I'd say like around March. So March 2024, I got a message I think in my Instagram inbox from this woman named Amanda Cedillo, and she had said that she was the lead animal science teacher for Donna North High School, and Donna is located in the Mid Valley. It's a very very poor area. They don't have a lot of resources, but what this teacher has done for her students in her vet animal science program is she has basically created a program for her students that allows them to be very proactive in the community. And they have created basically their own staple in not just their high school, but for their school district. And they work on creating microchip clinics, vaccination clinics. And this was all prior to them being involved with us. And so they sit on the advisory board of their local shelter. They help generate ideas with their advisory board there. They present ideas in front of their city council members, in front of their board of trustees for their school district. They compete at Skills USA competitions. They've been state champions in their own projects and their own initiatives. And so with that, they reached out to us and said that they wanted to not only get involved with our rescue, but they wanted to also get involved with THLN, with the junior advocate program. So we all got in touch with Shelby and just kind of started becoming more involved with one another. And we had told Amanda, this is our dream for Yaki. We're not going to be able to rescue or shelter our way out of the problem. There's just not enough homes. There's too many animals. We have to figure out a way to figure this out. We can request a grant from Hidalgo County, and we can use it or propose it in a way where the grant is for the purpose of career development. These young people may be able to get certified as vet assistants or in the vet arena, the vet science, arena. So when they graduate high school, they'll be certified vet assistants. So with that, we were able to get a grant from Hidalgo County for $20,000. Donna North High School purchased the first set of equipment to purchase 2 anesthesia machines, an autoclave, some surgical instruments, everything that kind of came with that set. And then Yaki did the rest, and we fundraised for more equipment. We brought vets down. We just had our spay and neuter clinic this past Saturday and Sunday. And so we were able to fundraise in total about 150 grand. And we just sterilized 150 animals this past weekend, which was really incredible.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is so amazing.
Uh-huh.
And to have those, those students learn those skills and be able to, have a skill set that they can take with them in life and also be helping animals in the community at the same time, it's really a win-win. Like, what a genius idea that you guys were able to come up with that.
Yeah.
It's really
And
wonderful.
I feel like other organizations throughout the state, whether you are a shelter or a rescue or any other nonprofit, I feel like it's really difficult to convey to elected officials or, to government entities saying there is a public service issue, right? You got packs of dogs that are chasing kids down at the bus stop, right? You've got older or elder individuals that are just kind of wanting to go for a walk, and you have stray dogs that are chasing them down. It's a public safety issue.
Sure.
And so when you propose it, like that, instead of just saying there's just so many dogs and not enough help, that kind of goes in one ear, not the other. But when you kind of propose it like a public safety issue, and then you say, we have schools, we have programs that are willing to assist with these issues, and you involve education, it's kind of like the light bulb kind of switches on, and then it's like, oh, I like that idea. I want to be part of that. And so we are hoping that with this clinic that we did this past weekend, that we can get other school districts and other cities interested, right? Yes. And maybe we kind of found the gate, right? The unlocked gate where other areas of the state can kind of follow this footprint, right? Or blueprint, if you will. And I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that's what happens.
Shelby Bobowski is a powerhouse in Texas animal advocacy. Shelby has served as the executive director of the Texas Humane Legislation Network since 2019, and she's been a driving force behind some of the state's most impactful animal protection laws. A former civil litigation attorney, Shelby now dedicates her legal work entirely to pro bono animal-related cases. Since 2022, she's proudly served as chair of the Dallas Animal Shelter, continuing her mission to protect animals at every level.
We're here with Shelby Bobowski, the executive director of THLN. Shelby, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
So you are so motivating. I loved getting to hear you speak when we first got here today. What you do is so important. And I'm just thrilled that you've allowed us to come and cover everything that you guys have going on today. It's so much that y'all have accomplished.
Awesome. And it's because of all of our advocates. It's really about the volunteers. Lieutenant Jimmy Doolittle said, nothing is stronger than the heart of a volunteer. And that's really everyone today. I mean, including you all coming down here and making sure that we all know about our bills and how important they are to animals in our state.
So important. And what you spoke about when it comes to progress, that's another thing, because a lot of people that aren't quite aware of what's going on and what you guys do, there can be some skepticism, like you talked about, with getting things passed, because we think, well, there's so much money on the other side, right? But grassroots lobbying, it really works.
It really works.
Some of your biggest wins.
Yes. So grassroots is everything. And I first got involved in 2013 because I was heavily motivated to stop dogs and cats from being euthanized by gas chambers. Wow. I could not believe that we had about 50 counties that were still using gas as a method of euthanasia for dogs and cats. And so when talking to those counties, I was like, what do we need to do? And they said, pass a bill. And so I just remembered that. And I will never forget what a common sense bill it was, but how hard it is even for common sense bills to pass in Texas. We only meet every 2 years, and we meet for 6 months. And so again, we've got to have the grassroots voice or we can't pass our bills.
Wow, that is so amazing. And you guys also have been responsible for keeping, well, now you're working on it not being repealed, but keeping the puppy sales from puppy mills out in the state of Texas. That's what you guys want to do.
That's right.
Tell everybody about that and how you already have had success passing something like that.
We had the Texas Dog or Cat Breeder Act that was passed in 2011. So many people say, well, just shut down puppy mills. But we can't because they're businesses. They're large-scale breeding facilities. The best thing we can do is license them, be able to check them, and give the most basic floor of protection, if you can call it that. But at the same time, we are trying to stop the sale of puppies coming into our state that are unaltered. So 13,000 puppies a year come from the puppy mill, Beltline, and whatnot. They come in and they are not fixed, and then they are sold to the public, and then they have more puppies. And it just exacerbates the problem even more. So that is truly what we are focused on, the ethical pet sales bill.
Anybody who is on Instagram or, is involved in just anything with their shelter, we all see just the sheer volume of animals that come through. And so what you're doing is so important. It's so amazing.
Thank you. And I'll say this, it is a 5-minute phone call. It's easier than ordering pizza. It's have your kids call. We give scripts, but it's so frustrating sometimes to see how someone can work in a shelter, or you have thousands of volunteers and maybe the office is like, we got 5 calls. Imagine how strong we would be if just everyone picked up the phone. If you volunteer, let's say, 100 hours a year at your local shelter, why wouldn't you come down for lobby day? Or, just again, it's a 5-minute phone call. So everybody can get involved.
Okay, volunteers, we're talking to you.
We are.
So they can get involved, and it's not hard. Just go to the website. We'll put it up here on screen. We'll put the QR code up because it's such an important way that you can not only help the animals in your community, but thousands of animals across the state. That's what got me really excited.
Effectuate change for thousands of animals in perpetuity, which is the passage of one law. Absolutely. And this really keeps us so grounded when we look at that chain. We are the first state in the United States to pass a law to end chaining as a method of restraint for outside dogs. Let's see, can you pick it up?
I've been working out, so I can barely do it, even.
Imagine that.
Will you explain what this represents?
Yeah, this was on a dog in, I believe it was Kaufman County. And this was an actual chain that was on a dog. And at the time that he was rescued, he had been in such bad shape. The kindest thing to do was to euthanize the sweet dog, and we bring his memory with us. But this took 6 years to pass. And then after it passed, can you believe, it was vetoed by the governor. So it took all the voices of Texas to come back and say, this should not be legal. Yeah.
That makes me emotional holding it. So, wow.
Thank
you. You guys could feel how heavy this is. So what you guys are doing is lifting the weights off these dogs and helping all of us to come together and do what's important to everyone who loves animals. Bipartisan. We all love animals. We care about them. And what you've done is just so inspiring. Thank you. Thank you.
What you've done in coming here today and speaking with your legislators inspires us. And that's why we're here. You guys are the pathway. Thank you so much.
Randy Turner is an award-winning attorney and a leading voice in animal law. Randy has spent decades advocating for animal welfare, serving on the boards of several rescue groups, wildlife sanctuaries, and animal rights organizations. Randy currently serves on the board of the Texas Humane Legislation Network, where he plays a key role in shaping state laws that protect animals. He's even helped draft bills that have become Texas law and has testified multiple times before the state legislature.
You know when you're buying from a licensed breeder that they're following standards, rules, they're regulated, certified, inspected. Well, there's a bill this session to repeal the dog and cat breeders law. And we fought for that for years. We finally got it passed by a huge majority in the legislature. And now they're back again wanting to repeal that law. the dog and the cockfighting law. Well, we fought long and hard to make cockfighting and dogfighting illegal, and we have a bill this session to increase penalties for dogfighting and cockfighting. But the other side, the opposition, they've introduced a bill to lower the penalties for cockfighting, to reduce it from a state jail felony, which is 6 months to 2 years in jail. They want to reduce it down to a Class A misdemeanor, which is maximum 1 year in jail and a fine. So we fight defense and offense.
Judy Leunis is a true trailblazer in Texas animal advocacy. Based in the Brazos Valley, she's not only served on numerous community boards, she single-handedly helped pass the Humane Pet Store Ordinance in both College Station and Bryan, and even worked with Marlin advocates to prompt a Texas Rangers investigation into the tragic deaths of shelter dogs. Judy is also the founder of Wiener Spiel, a community favorite known for its joyful wiener dog races that raised money and awareness for animal welfare causes for over 2 decades.
So many of our viewers love animals as well, and they want to get involved. They look to people like you as an inspiration. What would you tell anybody that wants to be a part of this movement or this change and do what you've done?
Animals shouldn't be political. I mean, we love our animals. We want them taken care of. Even if we don't have animals, we want the pets next to us taken care of. So don't make it political. Don't be afraid to come down and talk to your representative or your senator. Just go in and just tell your stories. Tell the stories of the happy things that have happened. I'm a dachshund mom. I've rescued dachshunds. But I fostered a one-eyed Chihuahua. I would never choose a Chihuahua. I didn't know that Chihuahuas pick you. He loved me. That dog has probably been on almost as many shows as you made.
Really?
Because everybody was interested in what can we learn from this one-eyed Chihuahua. Well, me being a former teacher, I would talk about differences and how everybody matters and all of this kind of stuff. So there's just so many stories out there, but your viewership has them. And I encourage them not to worry, just to go forward and talk about how the animals need better lives.
Liz Hanna is a dedicated ambassador for the Texas Humane Legislation Network. Liz has been a powerful voice for animals in her community, speaking out against puppy mills and unethical pet stores. She's the author of several impactful op-eds calling attention to the ongoing issues at a puppy-selling pet store in Tyler, helping raise public awareness and pushing for change.
We're here with Liz Hanna, one of the advocates. Liz, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm so excited to hear from you.
Thanks so much for having me.
So Liz, tell everybody about what you do and your expertise when it comes to animal advocacy.
Yeah, so I am a THLN ambassador for East Texas. I live in the Tyler area, and I volunteer with the SPCA of East Texas quite regularly. I got involved here because I wanted to make a difference at a local community level and really interested in getting into local government. So just have really enjoyed joining the group and trying to make a difference.
That's so wonderful. What are you planning to talk to legislators about?
So we have 3 different bills that we're really advocating for today. The ethical sales bill is really important to me in Tyler because we do have a retail pet store that sells puppy mill puppies. And gosh, they're cute, right? They're so cute in the window. But unfortunately, those puppies are brought in from out of state, mostly from the Midwest. And they're brought in and they're often sick or underweight or poorly bred, so they have genetic issues. And that just leads to strain on our resources. Unsuspecting consumers come in and purchase these super cute puppies, but then, they have a high interest rate for the payment, and then they have a lot of vet bills that are very expensive. And if you don't have the funding to keep taking care of that animal ends up in our local shelter. We've seen a huge spike in animals coming through the shelter and needing vet care because of these retail stores.
Yeah, well, it's so inspiring to see people like you coming to the Capitol in Austin and making a difference with your voice. We're learning so much about just how important that is and how much of a difference people are really making. So it's exciting, that's empowering, right? What would you want to tell viewers who maybe aren't familiar with animal advocacy and are interested in possibly getting involved or figuring out what's going on in their community?
Absolutely. We are all over Texas, so you can Google us and I'm sure you'll find advocates and volunteers in your area. But really what's important for the public to know is that these policies really help our communities and they're very common sense. Everyone wants their dog and their cat and their horse to have great veterinary care. We want to be able to support our communities and not have packs of stray dogs running around. And we really want to help our shelters and our rescues support the communities that we're living in. And so this is just a great opportunity to get involved, to learn what kind of policies are out there, and that really this is a very bipartisan work that we're doing. There's very little I would say controversy when it comes to saving puppies.
Right? We can all get on board with that.
We can all get on board with saving some puppies and kittens.
For sure. Well, Liz, thank you so much for your time. I know you have a busy day advocating for animals and speaking with legislators, so good luck and thank you for all the hard work you're doing.
Thanks so much.
If you love animals and want to make a real difference, the Texas Humane Legislation Network is always looking for passionate volunteers. From advocacy to events, there are opportunities for every interest and schedule. Join the movement that's changing lives across Texas. Visit THLN.org to get started today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Be Zen with Brit. I'm your host, Brit Mogensen, and I cannot wait to see you guys in our next episode. Remember, the show airs the first Thursday of every single month right here on WFA Channel 8 at 1:11 a.m. So set that DVR. Also, follow me on social media at Be Zen TV and Brit Madrid for my personal. And of course, follow the Texas Humane Legislation Network on their social media and sign up for their newsletter so that you can become a part of the solution too. Now for an important update. The Ethical Pet Sales Bill, filed as Senate Bill 1652 and House Bill 3458, are currently working their way through the legislative process. While Senate Bill 1652 appears stalled while awaiting a hearing in the Senate Business and Commerce Committee, House Bill 3458 has advanced out of the House Committee on Trade, Workforce, and Economic Development with a strong bipartisan 10-1 vote, a major milestone. During the House hearing, emotional testimony revealed heartbreaking stories about sick puppies sold at pet stores. Despite claims of transparency, representatives from major retailers like Petland Frisco evaded questions and contradicted firsthand accounts, further exposing the urgent need for reform. One powerful moment came when a customer testified about purchasing a sick puppy from the Frisco Petland store. That dog, burdened with expensive medical issues, was eventually surrendered to a rescue. Another reminder that nonprofits often bear the fallout of these unethical practices. To see this exchange firsthand, check out the Texas House livestream starting at 1 hour and 54 minutes. Next, House Bill 3458 heads to the Calendars Committee. Go to THLN.org to sign up for critical updates and action alerts as we continue the fight for more ethical practices in the sale of pets across Texas. Please contact your local legislators to show your support for these important bills.